Greetings, everyone. I am on live. Greetings, beautiful souls. How art thou? Happy Sunday, happy Saturday, wherever you are. My higher self decided that she wanted to come on today because I really wasn't planning this at all. But I said I might as well come on since I was playing the music and take a little rest from whatever else is going on out there right now. Anyway, so I just wanted to come on here just to talk a little bit about what's been happening within this past week with these energies. We have the full moon in Sagittarius, which it's already opened up with that energy. It's on Monday, plus tomorrow's Father's Day, plus Friday is the solstice as well, plus the, forgot what you call it again, the eclipse. Eclipse energy is also open up now as well. So it's a lot of intensity. I've been greetings, beautiful souls. I've just come in on here just to talk a little bit about what's going on. I know usually I'll talk for hours, but I'm hoping to keep it very brief just to come on here. Hi, honey. Just to talk about what's been happening in the energies and also based on readings that I've done for the past several days and anyone else that I've been talking to. It's been really, really intense. And I've been going through some stuff that's been heavy myself, and just pushing through all of this intensity. Mostly what I've been feeling and hearing from others besides myself is being in an unknown zone. Like you don't know what's going to happen, or it's almost like as if you don't have a grasp on things, and may feel like there's indecisiveness with things. You have no idea which doorway to go through or what else is coming. You know what I'm saying? So yes, Amber, it's just really, I'm sweating. It's so intense that you could book a reading. You could send me an email, the Garden of Eden 1111 at gmail.com. Also, I'm doing a special for this month in June to facilitate a lot of people that are working through stuff and whoever else is coming into their union space and union energies. So it's a lot of things that are happening all at once. And so you could send me the email at the Garden of Eden 1111 the Garden of Eden 1111 at gmail.com, or you can also visit my website www.thereturnofthegardenofeden.com. So that's how you can book a reading with me. So I'm offering a discount for this month in June, 30 minutes for $60 and an hour for $120 discount, okay? So anyway, so I wanted to come on here again to talk about what's been happening and everything else that has been shown to me, also signs and synchronizations. There was this movie that I ended up watching earlier this week called The Darkest Mind. So I don't know if anyone has ever heard of it. I highly recommend, for you to watch it. I got to get something to fan because I feel really hot. So, and it's called Charlize. Yeah, she's got a mail. So anyway, that movie itself was very interesting. And the reason why, because it had to do with the element of those who are coming into their power. And it reminded me so much of, let me just turn off these notifications because it's going to be annoying. Yeah. So anyway, it reminded me so much of X-Men, where everyone had their special powers and so on and so forth. And that movie in and of itself was depicted just similar to X-Men. And so I realized that I was going to another level, with myself. Not that I've never had this before, like all the time I'm always looking on the bright side of things and everything's going to work out and everything's all right and so on. But then there was a part of me that also had to look at the part of myself as far as the dark side. Okay. And when I say the dark side, I'm talking about, just being honest with yourself with how you feel about something or someone. Okay. Even if they really irritate you or you can't stand them or whatever the case may be. And so sometimes we often feel like as if we're locked in a box to be something or something else that someone else may depict how they think you should be. And sometimes you may feel like there's a part of you that might feel enraged, or you might feel something emotional that you've had suppressed for so long. So that movie itself was about this young lady. She was a a young female, black girl, and she came into her realization of her powers when she was younger. And what happened is she had the ability to like go into your mind, and she can feel your thoughts, and she's able to kind of manipulate in a way to get you to change your mind, you know, in a positive way in some sense. But what happened is it took over so much of her with her parents that she felt that she was hurting them too much, that she decided to erase their memory so they wouldn't remember her. And because of that, she was taken away by the government for them to test her and some other young people. So I'm going to fast forward, but I recommend you to see that movie. You can see it on cable. It was made in 2018 is when it came out. And so I ended up being engrossed in watching that movie because I started to feel like that was depicting me as well. You know, and sometimes what happens is we have so many parts of ourselves that has power. And we're coming into so much greater power with ourselves that sometimes we might even feel like we're afraid of this power that we have, or afraid of being judged so much by this power that we have from others and situations that we've experienced before. And you might feel like you're out of place with this power. And so what happened is that this guy who she ended up meeting that also had his own power, they were going to a place where they could be safe, because there's always usually, like in movies, just like with us when we've been here before, we've been on the planet where we've had specific powers, specific elements of ourselves that we were bringing in, not just love on the planet, but our own personal healing, our own wealth and prosperousness, and, you know, so many different things. The list goes on and on. And so in the end, when they went to this particular location where they would be safe with some other kids who were just like them, it ended up happening that they were turned against, and it was a trick. And so the guy wanted to use her, and he wanted to diminish her power that she had because he wanted her to do things the way he wanted it to do. So what he did is he tricked her into telling her what or how was she able to transfer her power in a certain way that she would be sort of like lessened or more subhuman, or in that sense. So when he did that, though, it backfired, because he said that he was going to change her so that way she could only be good in other people's eyes. And so what she ended up doing to stop the destruction is she had to go into the dark side of herself. In other words, she had to get into a greater intensity, that even if it meant that someone was going to get hurt for the greater good of others who are now here in existence, she said to him, I know who I am, and therefore I embrace all of myself. And because of that, he was able to be defeated. So it was just very powerful for me. And I thought about so many of us who are coming into the greater power of who we are, of course, with integrity and also using wisdom, you know, when it comes to this. And so what she had to do is she had to erase his memory because they fell in love with each other. And isn't it usual how it has been before in the past, where there always have been something as if we're sacrificing ourselves or sacrificing love. But this time around, we don't have to sacrifice ourselves, and we don't have to sacrifice love in order to be our true selves. And a lot of times we tend to dim down our light or dim down the power that we have with ourselves because we're afraid that we're going to lose that person or we're going to lose something in the process. And what happened is she ended up saving one of her friends' life, that she decided to go back to the base where they would go against her. But what she knew is that she focused on the greater cause, which is that she was bringing everyone together. She was bringing her soul family together. So you think about what it takes for many of us, what it takes for us to bring this all together. It takes so much guts. It takes so much strength. It takes so much wisdom, letting go, surrendering, awakening and remembering, you know, who you are and all of this stuff. And sometimes you may not feel like you have anybody to talk to with this. Do you see what I'm saying? But what I realized again for myself this week is that I just embraced how I felt and all the things that I've been experiencing. You may be going through the same thing too. So I know that the intensity that we've been feeling, what Spirit has been showing me was that it's like we're bringing things in a different way creatively. It's like it's being solidified and then it's not solidified. It's like it's in form and it's formless. So I wish there was a special word I could use to describe how we are doing things differently when it comes to manifestation. it's like they're showing me that you have the thought, and as you have the thought about something that you're choosing, not wanting, because choosing is stronger and is more powerful when you put it out there, when you're choosing something, than saying you're wanting it. Then the universe is just going to give you the element of just desiring something, but you don't have it. So when you have the thought, and when you're connecting and aligning with something that you're choosing with that thought, this is a lighter frequency of manifestation. Now, when we have thought and then we align it with feelings, it becomes intense. It also becomes strong, and it also comes into an element of density. This is how they showed it to me. So in other words, when we're manifesting certain things that come into particular particles and matter, it forms into something. And usually as you start to think the thought, they said, oh, be conscious of what you're thinking, because you will bring it out there. But this has to do with when it's repeated over and over and over again, and you put the energy out there into what you desire, what you're choosing, and then all of a sudden it just starts to move this element and this matter so quickly that it comes instantaneously, just like that. And I'm going to give you my own example. I ordered some boxes that because I have to pack, and they said that the boxes were not going to come until Monday, the 17th. So I said to my mind, I said, Tag, I wish the boxes would come this weekend so I can start packing what I need to do to put in the boxes. And would you believe the boxes were at my door this afternoon? And I was like, wow, just because I said, I wish the boxes would just come this weekend. But what I realized when I went into my thoughts with it is the fact that I'm thinking the thought, and then I aligned it with my solar plexus, right? Because the energy flowed from my solar plexus. I didn't hold tight to it, but the thought was that this is what I desire, this is what I choose, and now it came into my reality. So it came into my reality almost like a speed of light. So it's like Spirit has us in a place where if you feel like you're in this unknown zone, or you feel like you have all these different elements of choices, but you don't know which way it's going to go, or if you keep trying one thing but it's slipping out of your fingers or is going in another direction, this is basically what they're showing me, the difference with how we are manifesting and how we're coming into this greater power in a new way, and a different way that it's like as if you can't even explain it in words. And so because I knew it was happening to me in this way, and someone else that I spoke to, she also is in this unknown zone. Someone else another person said they're in an unknown zone, don't know what's going to happen, which direction is going with their life and where they're being taken. And this is exactly what they showed me today and yesterday. That, oh, it's resonating with you, Amber. Yeah, I figured that I would, why my higher self says, oh, you're going to go on and talk today about this. And I'm like, okay. So I stopped everything that I'm doing, and I said, let me come on here and start talking about this. And I'm still in an unknown zone, and everything just seemed like as if it's going in all different directions. I no clarity. And even 2 people I read for yesterday, and I told them, I said, don't ask me certain questions, because I felt like as if I couldn't get a solid answer, because Spirit says we're not bringing things into too much of this density. That's what it's like in the 3rd dimensional space. But because Mother Gaia is in the 5th dimensional space, we are co-creating with a new way, or I wouldn't say a new way, but it's like part of it is how we did things in the ancient times. Now we're bringing it into a higher galactic form that's formless, but it still has some type of form to it. And I really feel like this is how things are going to be when it comes to how our bodies are going through changes, and how we're, like part of our bodies is going to be solidified and part of it is not. It's going to be formless. And because remember, everything that is occurring but you can't see is where the action is actually taking place, okay? That's where the power is happening. That's where the co-creative energy is occurring. I've been feeling a lot of ear aches and pains. When I did that last live with Mike, the peace dealer, when was it? On the 7th? 2 hours after that, my ears was hurting me so bad. I was having earache and pain. I also started to, and it's all on the right side of my body. So I knew that all of this was representing so much of this, the masculine energy, and so much rewriting and rewriting and rewriting is happening within many of us. My right knee was also affecting me with some pain. And I just had to let myself just ride through all of that energy. But also the density of how I was feeling throughout the week, that was also very, very intense. And I haven't even been able to even remember any, so I got interrupted. I haven't even been able to remember any dreams whatsoever, but I've been having them. So usually when you're having dreams and you're not remembering them, it's almost like your soul is flushing, not, I'm gonna say flushing out, but it's more like as if it's just like pushing out all of the past memories and stuff, and it's just pushing it through, pushing it out, pushing it through, pushing it out. So you said fire breathing dragon, you've been feeling that a lot, just meditating for, yeah, I can't even say for myself what I'm even getting intuitively, because it's like as if I'm being pushed to stay in the moment. So it's important to stay in the moment and to stay present. I also feel like my higher self has been kind of pulling me in a direction not to focus on too many things in the past. So I'm not even focusing too much on past memories either. It's like I just feel myself in this newer energy. But then at the same time, while I'm interacting with certain people, it feels like I like their vibration is so slow and slowed down. And my body is speeding up with my higher self because I feel like as if I'm coming into a greater alignment. So not too long after I would say hours later after I watched that movie that I mentioned earlier, The Darkest Side, and the way it ended was just really incredible because again, she did what she did for her soul, for her soul family, which was embracing both sides of herself. And not too long after that, there was a bird that flew into my space when I was talking to my friend Tavon about it. And I was recording it, and the bird was a yellow bird, and it had a black beak, and it looked so tiny and cute. And I've never ever seen it before. And when I looked it up, it's called the American goldfinch or something like that. And I was like, wow, there again is that name gold that's referred, the gold or golden or something like that. And then I thought I was recording it, which I really was, and I thought I wasn't recording it, and then I recorded again, and then another one just flew right next to it. So I've been getting a lot of powerful messages. Of course, I see Eve on the license plate yesterday, day before yesterday, almost every day I see Eve. Then today I saw a lot of 444, 4444, 2 for 444, and then 222. And then I've been seeing a lot of 333, 333, 333. Now it's 1221. So that's the mirror number. So I've been getting a lot of those messages that have been coming through, but especially with feeling like you don't know what's going to happen next, especially that energy. It's like even if there's a choice that comes up in your energetic field, then all of a sudden it may switch back over into something else, and it's just so much unknown energy, unknown territory. If you also have been having any contact with your twin soul or who you're connected to, there's some of you that may be feeling like as if they're going back and forth. You may feel like as if, oh, it's over, or as if nothing is going to happen, or that it may be coming to a halt or something. And just remember and be mindful that everything that is occurring, you're shifting into a higher dimensional space with yourself and this person. So what they showed me too is like we're ending out so many of these greater loops, as things have been looping, and they showed to me like a spiral, and it's like it's speeding faster and faster and faster. So you may find yourself feeling like as if you're not able to catch up to that person, or that person catches up to you, and then all of a sudden it changes over back, like they change back over to something else again. But it doesn't mean that nothing's happening. Things are happening between you and your connection. Some of you may feel like as if you're feeling nothing at all. Like I haven't been feeling anything at all. No dreams, no nothing. Almost like it's just like he just disappeared. But it doesn't mean that nothing's happening, okay? We're really going through major upgrades is what they're telling me. And these upgrades are coming through from how we manifest things, especially how things are being manifested. So if you have been having to change locations or changing, greetings, Kelly. And if you've had to be changing, or having to go somewhere else other than where you are, and then it changes again. You may be going through losses. You may be going through illnesses. Some people may be going through more pulling away from others, or more isolation, or separation. All of this is happening in a greater intensity, especially with the solstice, because I feel like we're like in a whirlwind of like a tornado. That's what it feels like, a tornado, where you have the tornado frequency. It's like a portal with the they're saying the Lion's Gate already. Also the eclipse, which is coming up July 16th, but it's already open. Then we also have the solstice, okay? And the solstice represents what's meeting in the middle and halfway. And then also this full moon in Sagittarius. So, because they're making me feel like as if it's so big, the amount of things that we're creating all at once is so big that everything else that's been not serving your union, it just has to leave. So that's why it feels like as if anything else that's the opposite of what you may desire is showing up in your reality, okay, to bring it together. So, and I know it's uncomfortable. It's very uncomfortable to not know what's going to happen. It's very uncomfortable to not have all the answers. And then it goes one way and then it swings over to the other way. Very, very uncomfortable. But I do know that there are many divine unions that are being prepared for because of all of this, okay? And we just have to just keep staying present as always, really, really staying present. And also letting go of any type of control that you think you want to have. And it also will feel like as if you have a million things to do all at once as well. Because that also is what the case for me too. Like I feel like I'm just doing so many things at once. And even though I have so many things to do, I said, oh, well, I might as well just come on here and just talk about what's going on. Because maybe there's there's others who's also experiencing the same thing. Do you see what I'm saying? And now we're in the middle of June. And this is like half the year is practically done. Half the year is practically done. And with half the year almost done, where the 2020 is also just pulling in through even more of what's happening to do with these upgrades, okay, that we're having. And what they're telling me is that between now and the end of the year, anything that you've had to face with your own inner darkness, it's time to face it now, okay? Anything that you don't speak about, time to speak up now. If you've been focusing mostly on your 3D connections and how things are in the 3D world, time to up-level yourself now. Time to level up. Time to start speaking about your journey, your path, who you are, what you're here for. If you're still working for the money, just to pay the bills, time to shift into your passion and your purpose, okay? And embrace your power that comes with your passion and your purpose, okay? And even if you feel like you've done it all, you've tried it all, and it's not working, then maybe you're at a place of surrender. Maybe you're at a place of adding something more to what you are here to do. Because a lot of times I know we get caught up into thinking it's only one thing that we're here for. And no, because your soul is here to experience everything in such a great expansion that limiting yourself to just one thing may not be enough. So if you feel that whatever you're doing or wherever you are, that you don't feel good inside about it and you're feeling this pull to do something different, then go ahead and start doing it. Because it's important for your, not only your well-being, but it also shifts things in that direction for things to start happening. You know what I mean? So that is what I wanted to give that message. So, but I just wanted to share and come on here because I know that it is, I don't want to say it's not easy because I don't want to start creating that it's not easy, but it really isn't easy. It really has been very, very intense. And whoever you think you are, keep being who you are and stand up for yourself and speak your truth. Hey, Steven, what up? What up? Hey, Daisy Dukes. How are thou, Daisy Dukes? I thought about you today, too. Yep, riding on that pony. But what else was I going to say? There was something else that they were showing me I thought was significant. Well, I know that one of the things that was really emphatic is about the divine feminine. The divine feminine. She is pulsating even greater on earth, okay? It's like as if her frequency is risen, you know? Because one of the messages that I've received from the birds, you know how the bird just plopped right in front of me, the gold, what do they call it? The goldfinch was resurrection. That I was resurrected, okay? And that bird was the bird that was around Yeshua when he went through his, what they called his hell. Because this is what it feels like we're in hell, like a crucifixion. And it's like at that point when you think you've had enough, when you've done enough, when you've felt enough, when you've gone through as much of the deepest pain that you could ever, like delivering a baby, then all of a sudden something occurs with you. So remember that whatever parts of you is dying or has to die, it's going to feel intense. It's going to feel like the fire. And we're doing it while we're in the physical body. So whereas there are those who have ascended or ascending from transitioning, but as we are ascending through the physical body, that's the reason why you're feeling more intensity, especially in your solar plexus, or if you've been feeling a purge in your body, having to go to the bathroom and being on the toilet for like hours and hours on the toilet, and also heat and perspiration. That's why you saw me fanning, you know, heat and perspiration. What else? Feeling spacey, like you're out of space, which you really are, you know, because with all of this, it takes a lot to, you have to think about how much you're releasing with programming and thoughts, words that you speak, how you relate to others, people that may not understand you. And even if they don't understand you, it really doesn't matter, because what we're templating on earth is never been done before. And you've never seen it before. We've all never seen it before. But the mere fact that what I said, even matter of fact, you know what I said even earlier today too? I said, you know what? The way how I felt for the past 2 days, if you've been feeling this way too, it's almost like this is like we're in this apocalypse type of energy. Like you're ghosted. Like you don't even know, you know, where you are anymore. Like it's almost like when all the ashes are and you're like, oh my gosh, what do I do now? Because we're in new energy. We're in new timelines. And when we're in these new timelines, it's like, where do we go from here? As a matter of fact, that young lady, I wish I remembered her name. She was called Little Mommy something 101. She had messaged me on YouTube. Pardon me if I don't remember your name, sweetheart. And she said something very significant. During the ancient time when Moses delivered the people, they wrote the story, or they said the story, delivered the people out of bondage, which was really a mental bondage, right? And they were heading into a new place, a new land, right? And and to me, when I look at it, I talk about this in the book too, the book that I'm doing, The Return of the Garden of Eden, is that we're in new territory. We're in new energy. And this energy cannot facilitate how we did things in the 3D world the same. So everything is being revamped. And so that's why it feels so unknown. It feels so strange and uncharted. And there is no direction that is given by anyone and that's why they say to keep staying present. Okay? And you know, even if we open up one door to see if we can peep and see what it's going to show, they're not showing me, even for my own self. Have no idea. And I wake up in the morning thinking about it, and I'm going to bed at night thinking about it. Well, not at night because I go to bed in the morning. Because I can't even sleep. Or I do sleep, and then it's not for long. So it's maybe 4 or 5 hours of sleep. And then I wake up again, and I'm feeling all this. And you might even be feeling anxious, too. And the anxiousness is coming from because you're anticipating and knowing that something big is happening. Not about to happen. It is happening. It is happening. You see what I'm saying? So, I don't know. I just have to say that I'm just as much in the light and the dark as you are. And I say the dark in terms of whatever is unknown. And just remember that the truth is always going to remain the truth for you with what it is, that even if someone else doesn't recognize your truth, it really doesn't matter. It's important to stay so much in your lane, okay? Even if you're in the someone else's place or somewhere else where that person is not on the same wavelength as you, it really doesn't matter, because it's all new. It's all new. And so because we're in that space, just like what they call the promised land, we're like creating these new beginnings energetically first. And it's not taking in a solidified absolute form. I think that's what it is they're saying. It's not staying in an absolute form because we're co-creating differently and things are spinning so quickly that it's not going to stay in a solidified form for too long. And then we're going to create, and then it's creating again in what we're choosing. And because of the fact that we're coming into these greater abilities to manifest things in split second, just like how I mentioned to you about the boxes coming within 2 days, when it wasn't supposed to come that, on Monday, and bam, here it is. So it's like, pay attention to how things are manifesting for you, because differently than compared to before, whenever you were, choosing something. Do you see what I'm saying? And if there's a part of you that it's dormant, or you haven't spoken out more of how you feel or what you desire, then start doing that and not be afraid. Don't be afraid. Okay. So that's what I wanted to share with you, as far as that part. And then I also wanted to share something else that I had printed out last week. I'd received it in an email, and I figured no better time than the present, So we're bringing in so much of these, the Mars energy in Cancer, and what's shifting from one polarity to the next. And that's the reason why it feels like having to go through all these adjustments and changes in relationships, and changes with money, changes with the government, changes with all these patterns and behaviors and so on and so forth. Okay. So, and because of the intensity of what we're feeling, it's almost like such a big push that we're getting that's coming from the universe in what we're clearing out with all those patterns, okay? And that's why it feels like everything is coming all at once, okay? Because that's exactly what I'm experiencing in my reality. Any triggers that you're having, pay attention to the triggers. What is it that's coming up from your healing from your inner childhood, in relation to the divine masculine, okay, energy, and in relation to the divine feminine energy. In other words, if you had specific issues of abandonment or feeling dishonored when it comes to a father, okay, because Father's Day is now or tomorrow, wherever you are, and think about how you relate to the masculine energy. That plays a very important part in your divine union space. And that union space is about everything, okay? Everything, and how you relate to it within yourself. Because remember, everything that you feel inside is what is reflecting outside of you. So if you feel that you have certain abandonment issues to do with your dad, or how you communicate, or how you feel, are you open to receive, or are you shut down from receiving love? Are you open to intimacy and closeness, or do you feel like that's not what you desire right now? And where is it coming from? Okay. If you have issues with the mommy, okay, that is also something to go deeper into yourself, into how you relate to the feminine energy. Do you feel like as if you're boxed in? Do you feel like as if that you're abandoned by the feminine, whether it shows up through a mom or a grandmother? Are you holding wounds of the past in your solar plexus, in your uterus, from what's passed on from your mother and your mother's mother, feeling abandoned by a mate, or thinking that all relationships are just based on being single, and that nothing else can happen but struggle, or just giving birth to children, and that's it? There's been so much stigma that have been placed out there when it comes to males, masculine energy. And, usually there's not as much emphasis placed on Father's Day as much as Mother's Day. But remember that the changes we're bringing to the earth is how we're bringing this into a greater balance when it comes to masculine energy and how we relate to masculine energy. So think about Mars is usually related to masculine, right? And it's in Cancer. And Cancer is about family and home and structure, right? And that beloved feeling of intimacy and closeness. How do you relate to your emotions and feelings? Are you able to express yourself freely, or do you feel like you shut down because you're afraid of being judged by your own feelings? Or do you feel like if you express yourself that you're going to be dishonored, okay? Or that if you express yourself or express your feelings that it's too much because you got to stop it right there, because then you're afraid that the person or someone is going to let you down, okay? So, and remember that the North Node is also in Cancer. The eclipse is in Cancer. So the eclipse doesn't have to wait to come here by July 16th. It's already here now. And this is the reason why there's so much intensity and more intensity with everything, because we're shifting direction now into the North Node of Cancer, into how we relate to our feelings, our emotions. We can't run away from it anymore. We must face ourselves and how we feel, that even if someone feels bad about how you're feeling, it really doesn't matter, because it's like all that stuff that's bottled up and how you connect to all these experiences is what has created the blocks to love and the blocks to your inner joy and happiness, and not because it's dependent on someone else. Because you see, as each one of us comes into that greater creation of joy and love and connecting with emotional integrity, okay, and also applying emotional wisdom with one another, and what it does, it brings you into a greater alignment of peace. And it also does something different when it comes to your creativity as well. You see what I'm saying? And it's also about that freedom that is being created, that comes from within you, and also someone else that compliments you, or someone else that you connect to as a friend, or how we are with each other with love, and how we are with each other with being in love, okay, and not just love. Because love is one, I talk about this, is one level of energy. But when it comes to being in love, that's a higher vibration. It's a higher feeling. And most of the time we feel like we can't even connect to that feeling because of the fact that we're dealing with so many issues all at once, you see. But it's imperative to go through these portals of feelings and energies and stuff, because it's like, you know, when you think about a tornado, the tornado is sucking things up and it's also pushing things out. And so this is what it feels like. It's like there's a magnetic pull that is occurring with many of us, especially those who are on the twin soul path. I can tell you that from now. And this pull, you're feeling it in your solar plexus. You can feel it in your solar plexus. You could feel that activity. So everything that comes into play with your creation and your creativity is what's different now. And that's the reason why the power that comes with the pairs is what we are restructuring. Okay? And that power in itself is recognizing your power and not being afraid of it, tapping into it. See what more you can remember who you are from the ancient past and now, because everything still ties together simultaneously from who you are then and who you are now and who you are becoming. Because the stage that you're at now, this is not the completion. We're still in motion, faster and faster and faster, faster and faster and faster, to how much more we're coming into this galactic parts of ourselves, you see. And again, it's intensifying. It's truly intensifying. So especially for twin souls, is that we're experiencing a deeper purification process that's related to the solstice. And because of this, it's bringing on a greater intensity for us. And it doesn't mean whether or not who's on first or who's on second, because it's still happening simultaneously with the pairs. Remember that you're going to show differently with what you're experiencing than your divine counterpart is, okay? And because it's showing up differently, it's coming into a greater, how do I say, like a greater element of power. Okay. So you may start to feel even tingling in certain parts of your body. And it's like as if there's like certain frequency that's flowing through the skin. Your skin might start to, look different, and rashes, and you might even feel, again, the hot and cold sweats, and feeling cold again and hot again and cold again. All these different aspects and things is what's occurring between both. You might also feel things that your twin is feeling, and your twin may feel something that you're feeling because of how much things are integrating with the pair and going through these greater upgrades, okay? Because that's what they're showing me, all these upgrades. And the reason why it may seem like you're facing so many elements of things that what you call negative, but it's not negative. Remember that everything has to amplify, and it has to show itself through others for us to see. And it's because there are more people that are awakening. And as more people are awakening, what that means is that we're here to show the way. We're here to ground and template what the new relationships are on earth. We're here to ground it. We're here to demonstrate it. You don't have to talk it, just be it. Okay? So however you feel your template is, this is about stepping into it, that even if that person is with someone else, it has to show itself with what it is that you have to look at, or what you can see in what is to change and to shift. Okay? And that's the reason why it may show up the way that it is right now. Because each stage that we go through is going to feel like as if nothing is happening once again, okay? Or it may look the opposite, or it may seem like as if they're not, this person's not moving in any direction. Again, come back to yourself and how you're feeling about the connection. Okay, that's very important. How do you feel about the connection? Do you believe in your connection? Do you know who you are? Are you awakened to who you are fully? How much more is there for you to remember about yourself? Because as you keep remembering about yourself, guess what? The more empowered you become. So we're not just here to awaken and just to be here and just self-love and then, that's it. And we're just going to awaken and go on this mission and stuff like that. No, we're here to bring on divine love. We're here to be in love. And we're also here to template the new way to love, to return to this true, pure love. So I'm going to read something that was led to me. I'm so glad that my soul just had to just blend in just like this. And someone wrote to someone, but anyway, this is from Quora Digest. And this is someone, she's a twin flame in union, and she's a coach. And the reason why I want to read this is because I talk about this myself in the book. And this is something out there that is so much, that has been ingrained in so much belief systems that catch on to the religious stuff and all that stuff that people bring into the spiritual community and the twin flame community. And so I want to talk about this and read this to you to help someone or any one of you out there who also may feel like you're in a quandary about your connection. Do remember that anything you may read or anything you hear, that this is about you following your inner guidance, okay? And yes, there's times we're going to seek outside of ourselves because we desire to feel, like we want things to be validated, or we may feel like we want to talk to someone or connect to someone who understands the path, and we just want to connect to someone that will be able to relate, this to you so you can feel good inside, which is totally understandable because this path in and of itself, it's not, anything that's ordinary. This is an extraordinary circumstance of what we're here to do and to be in a mighty, mighty big way. Not small, not limited, okay? Limitless, okay? So the title of it is, If I Met My Twin Flame, Is Reunion Guaranteed? And the person, Liz Henderson, replied, and she said, yes, twin flames always make it to full physical union. One of the questions that I'm asked most is if whether or not we're meant to be in a 3D physical committed relationship with our twin flame. The answer is yes. One of the most common misconceptions that I and others have seen floating around the twin flame communities is that the entire twin flame journey is meant to be and stay only in the 5D or spiritual realm, It is commonly thought that the twin journey is purely a spiritual one, meant to bring you back to yourself and to teach you that you don't need anyone else but you. It is also believed that you must completely walk away from your twin and no longer even want them any longer in order for you in 3D physical union to ensue. The only thing that you can actually let go of is the sadness of thinking that union isn't meant for you. That is it. You are not meant to simply meet your twin flame, your love of your life, and then let them go and have a spiritual relationship with this person. No, if that were the plan, both of you would have stayed in the fifth dimension. You came here to learn that obstacles and barriers are not real, that they are created in your mind and therefore then projected into your physical reality. Your desire to be with this person is a desire directly from source, which I always said that too. God don't play games, not capricious. There's a reason why you feel like you can't stop thinking about them. They can't stop thinking about you. Why it's different, why it's powerful. It's not ordinary. It's extraordinary. It's supernatural. It's supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. That's right. So to continue, she says that is where desires come from. They are the universe, God's way of telling you that this is the experience that it wants you to have in order to learn through you. And I look at it as that God wants to understand him and herself through us. And the desire is to now come back into wholeness within self first and then together. That's what makes up that triad, that holy trinity. The relationship you have with yourself, the relationship that you have with God, and the relationship that you have with your beloved. So when you want to be in 3D union, and those were my words before I come back. So when you want to be in 3D union with your twin, it is because the universe is creating this desire within you. It is trying to push you to manifest this union so it can gain the knowledge and the experience through you. That is why it feels so bad when you try and deny yourself that which you're desiring, to be in union with your twin flame or that $1 million that you want. When you tell yourself that you can't have something that is simply not possible or not meant for you, you're built an emotional guidance system that gets triggered and you feel really, really bad. This is because all your higher self sees is an abundance of every single thing that it is that it wants, because there's no such thing as lack in this universe. When you believe you're lacking something, your emotions trigger you to feel mad, sad, confined, and this is because these thoughts are untrue and out of alignment. And this is your inner being's way of letting you know this. For more info, how to get to union, and then to see her bio. So I just wanted to add that in there. Again, everything to who we are and why we're here is to bring it into the physical, because the soul desires to know itself, and to know itself, it had to descend. We had to descend in consciousness. We had to come down into this reality in order to know thyself and to bring ourselves back together again like Humpty Dumpty. And so one of the best things that God could have done was create what I call the dangling carrot. And I call it the dangling carrot, not because this is happening because you're being punished or because you did something wrong. It was because it had to happen in order to get us back to this place. And to come back to this place, we have to come back to the basic. We have to come back to the beginning. But the way we're coming back to the beginning is not the same way how it was in the beginning of time. This is a new element, a new energy. And we are going to be, and we are templating true divine love. All I know is that whatever has always been shown to me is that this type of love is something that cannot be even described in words. It is more powerful than ever. I find it to be the most fascinating and exhilarating experience that one could ever have. Now, would I say that it's been fun for me for these past several years with what I've experienced? I would say yes and no at the same time, because the soul is going to experience everything on all sides of the polarity. And when we think about everything that we're experiencing in the masculine and the feminine, and in also the female body and the male body, because it's not subjected to gender, it's not subjected to the color of skin, it's not subjected to age differences, it's not subjected to religion, it's not subjected to government, it's not subjected to anything that we have labeled and defined from the past. So, in other words, love is free. Love is free. Love is in abundance. And what we're doing is we are releasing the blocks, removing the blocks, okay, that we have had, the barriers that we've had to love. Let freedom ring. And through the time and the elements of what we are doing and being right now, it is coming on in a greater intensity. So yes, we are aligning and we are responding to all the planetary shifts. We are also aligning with our higher selves. Our higher selves is already coming through within us, on and on. You know what I mean? And it's expanding and expanding. And what happens with this, what becomes so beautiful, is that we're bringing in all the downloads and knowledge, okay? All the things that were hidden from us. Also, what I also heard and been aware of is that the lower energies have also been trying to stop us from coming into union. And there's a reason why I was to read that article, okay, about what the twin flame reunion means. Because, of course, what comes with these reunions is power. What comes with these reunions is blissfulness. The highest element, the highest state of who we are is blissfulness, okay? Spinning like a spin top. And so with that comes what? It comes with something great, and with something great, that means we have to push through what? Something that's not so great. And so remember what the significance is for us and why we are here. Keep remembering the greater picture of why you are here. Keep remembering the greater picture of what we're here to do. The main thing that I will always speak on, I will always say, is that we're here to be in love. When you're in love, you come into a greater co-creative energy. That is an energy of where things are creating effortlessly. And it is limitless. It is not bound by human law. This is based on spiritual law. This is based on pure love. We were created from pure love from the beginning of time. And then we created and recreated again and again. You see, because the DNA that we had back then is not the same that we have now. They showed me that the elements and the structure of the DNA that we have within our system is going through such a huge amount of significant change that it's like we're going to be creating a new name for it, a new formula. I don't know what it is, but it's a coming. It's a happening. And it's like having to adjust to how things may have been before, with how we do things, how we say things. And even if it doesn't have a name, it's okay. We don't have to have a name, okay? But you will know, because many of us are feeling the same thing. It can't hide. The feelings can't hide, okay? And you're going to see things differently as well. Because as the veil becomes thinner and thinner, you're also going to see more and more of your loved ones and those who are on the other side. Yes, Amber, we're evolving to a greater awareness of self, greater awareness of this love, and how we connect to each other. Because you see, even when you think of family and how we connect to each other, and you think about the North Node in Cancer and Mars in Cancer, it's also about how we connect from the heart with each other. And that even if you don't hear from the person that you're connected to, can you feel him and her from your heart? Can you feel the truth in your heart? Because the heart is what speaks the truth. Your heart is what is your compass. And so I feel what I'm being shown, that we're so much in this unknown zone because we're being pushed to trust our inner knowing and feelings. We're to start following those feelings and thoughts in things that we may not have expressed, or things to how we're connecting to everything that you've ever desired, okay? Or just any decisions or choices that you have to make. Because guess what? That is where the truth lies, from your heart and what you get from your gut feeling, okay? And so what's happening is that it's being amped up now to a greater capacity, because that is what it's going to be like on earth as we're communicating and co-creating with our beloveds and also with others in this community. How we come back into that oneness space, but we're still honoring the individuality of self. You see? So that is the message that I wanted to bring to you today. If anyone would like to have a session with me, please feel free to contact me via email. Again, the Garden of Eden 1111 at gmail.com. I also wanted to announce, I think I forgot to announce it before, I will be doing the Awaken Fair in Manhattan in New York City. July 28th is going to be at the Roger Smith Hotel from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. So you can go to theawakenfair.com and you can book and schedule discounted readings from there. Also, I will be doing another platform of talk and readings in the Bronx in August, the month of August. And as I go along, I will give out the greater details to that. So just remember to connect to yourself and allow yourself to, I wouldn't say just heal, but more allow your higher self, your soul is speaking to you. Your soul is guiding you. Your soul is bringing on that greater wisdom of, who you are and, your past life, bring that together and see how much more you become heightened with who you are, because that's exactly what it is. It's like you're becoming more heightened with your connections and heightened with your feelings and your emotions and expressing of self. And even if you feel that you can hide it, you can't hide it. It's time to let loose, and it's time to bring forth the greater part of you that you may not have been able to do ever before. And that is what I'm hearing, to give that message to you. So I just want to put in a little simple meditation here in gratitude. Mother, Father, God, I'm in gratitude. I'm in gratitude for all those who are here and all those who are on their path, and in gratitude for the wisdom that flows through us. And I'm in gratitude for those of us who are able to use our discernment to know when it is time to speak and time to be quiet, to know when it's time to move forward and take action, and when it's time to just allow, when it's time to use our intuition, and when it's time to see what there is to do in the physical space. I'm in gratitude for all of the changes that are happening with us and how we relate to the masculine energy and the feminine energy, in that how we see things, the belief systems, as we're breaking those down and we're coming into a freedom energy. Freedom. It moves and it flows like the water. You see? It feels so good inside. Like I visualize us just being submerged in water as we move through a frequency of love and oneness. As we open our hearts to love. Amira que no kunda la tetende la tere que tu sana bekitana me. Alele que no re que no se shtakuni me te koneme. Oti smar pata sumi shvara potume. Tasina but smar petikoto smira katasukoto shabata kitana bekitano mirara. As we remember the power that we have within us, as we are satisfying, we're connecting to the inner child, who we are as the inner child masculine and the inner child feminine, the inner child mother and the inner child father. Blessings rest upon all the fathers out there that are now moving towards their freedom and knowing what it means to be in their freedom, that we're no longer in this bondage and feeling that we're enslaved, that we're free to now be with our true beloveds and our true families, that we really know what it means to be in this freedom and returning back to our Garden of Edens. No more separation, that we're releasing the consciousness of separation and lack and limitation. No more suffering, no more having to struggle, that we know that we are in abundance and that this abundance is flowing through us in a powerful, mighty way, that we have the ability to manifest things into our reality, that it doesn't require money only, that we're remembering that we're here to bring on this abundance together, collectively, as one. That we come together as equals, not one less than the other. Deshalambi kitunumina the kitana kita kotu chukunumina kita la kita kotu di keda kedano. Isalamiti kunumina keda kana shukunukunime kada patara patashulumirada. I'm in such gratitude for these divine unions that are coming in with such power and grace. As one surrenders to the other. As we bring on the Holy Trinity, this Christed energy, the Christ consciousness, the beloveds. As we remember the inner truth and beauty, the knowledge and what it brings for us, and our hearts just become more open, and we're just allowing ourselves to just be in this flow just like the water. And so it is. I am in such gratitude for all of you. And it's going to end off in 10 seconds. Much love.